I grew up in the reveries of Frank Miller's Dark Knight, so the brutalism of Batman was never overstaying its welcome. But the thing that always worked for me, as it did during the introduction of Arkham Asylum, was how fantastical Batman could be. You could say the same thing about the animated series, and honestly, we should. People want a little more suspense in their fantasy, and poking around the boundaries is about challenging what you find. It's not that I was ever disinterested in Bruce Wayne, it's just that I never saw myself in him, so the underpinnings of what made his fantasy different from the rest was its willingness to jump headfirst into the lion's den. This fantasy-draped Batman has a different contact with his folklore, and all without the fear of breaking the suspension. Look to the Jeff Loebs and Paul Dini's and Tom King's and Grant Morrison's, who have mastered both sides of the coin, with the latter of those creatives even leaving an impression on Superman. Whereby Superman and Metropolis compete for the charm of life's elasticity, Batman oversees a version of their world where everything and everyone is abrasively more draconian.
While you are here every night, I am out there. The only thing between the innocent and the predator. No, not may be. I am. When the mugger or the thief stops to think twice, that is fear. That is what I am. That is why they hired assassins, because I am the reason the criminals breathe easier when the sun rises. So no, Alfred, I am not in over my head.
Batman and Gotham assume the position of caretakers to all the different elephants in the room. And that idea leads me to this, which likely is the main thesis here, but in close-up, this fantasy offers us a look at life full of tragedy and the many violences. But at a distance, the fantasy of Batman offers us a look at life as the interval between each punchline. These conditions are conducive to the fantasy ideal, where all of Batman's exaggerated egos thrive. The idiosyncrasies matter, and so does having a bizarre Batman.
Long night, Jim.
Joker invades City Hall and holds the mayor hostage, leaving it to me to juggle SWAT teams, the media, and you. Yeah, it's been a hell of a night.
Gotham needs its fantasy, and fantasy needs its Batman. Let his size and persona grow against the grain. Let murder and mystery become the natural byproducts of this garden. And without changing the underlying principle of Batman as DC's instigator, MacGyver, investigator, there's never been a better time to pull no punches and stack all odds. Visually, physically, biologically, contextually, evermore. Pull nothing. Establish the mythology of Gotham as its own ecology, akin to how we now see Metropolis, because this is where you can get the most out of fantasy. It allows you to connect the dots back to psychology and out into philosophy, something that's living with noticeable staying power. That's how you get the mysticism out of Batman, and after 90 years of movie screens and splash pages and quest markers, the fantasy is still found in the bizarres that come from this spiritually fantastic world. Surround him with maniacs and monsters and treat it like a drama. If he's crazy enough to go into the lion's den every night, then show us what it's like in there. Reality can oftentimes be far more unbelievable than fantasy, so let it be, and encourage it to grow fantastically. You never know what might come of it. Don't neuter the reverie without considering it that a bizarre Batman can work. Science fiction has found its rhythm in Marvel, but DC has always been a different beast. It is the bedrock to everything super that heroes stand for. And for Batman, that is endured beyond notepads and serviettes and writers' rooms. And maybe that means something. And as always, thanks for watching.